Greetings, Malifaux fans. This is Crazy Carl back with another Malifaux video battle report. Today was a 40 Soulstone scrap played between me and Corey, aka Takaji, on the Weird Forums. We flipped for our strategy shared destroy the evidence. So my initial reaction would generally be to take Karai for this because I was Resurrectionist and Corey declared Outcasts. However, to be completely honest, I just finished painting up my Dead Rider, and I really wanted to play with it. And, you know, the Dead Rider is good for that strategy, and I figured the best model to go with that, the best master to go with that would be Nicodem. So I took Nicodem. Probably wasn't the best choice, but what are you going to do? Corey brought along the Free Corps, so he took Von Schill as a master because he doesn't own the Victorias yet. So he brought along Von Schill. He had the Trapper, Specialist, 2 Free Corpsmen, Taylor, and a Convict Gunslinger, and then he had a 4 Soulstone cache, which was left over from his from not spending it, and then he also had the Free Corps Librarian. So pretty solid crew. They work fairly well together. I really like Taylor combined with the Free Corps Librarian because she has hard to kill, and hard to kill is really awesome. The Trapper is really good as well. I haven't played against him a lot, but and he's just really good. I mean, you get to take a shot with him, and then he's got an automatic trigger which lets him make a 3-inch push, which is pretty cool. I brought along Nicodem, as I mentioned previously. I attached the Grave Spirit to it because the Grave Spirit is really good with both Nicodem and the Dead Rider. I brought along the Dead Rider, as you can see there. I brought 4 Canine Remains. I brought a Punk Zombie, a Rotten Bell, and Mortimer. I kind of waffled a bit. I went back and forth between taking Punk Zombie, or the, Canine Reigns and Night Terrors. Night Terrors are just phenomenal for anything objective-based, especially for Shared Destroy the Evidence. You can fly the Night Terrors up there, turn 1, and get the neutral evidence marker, and just pull them along, and you can I think you can actually get it on turn 1. It's pretty ridiculous. They're really good. But I decided I wanted to bring the Canine Remains just because they can also do the same. They're not as fast, but they can do the job as well, and they can split up, and they're a little bit more useful on their own. So that's what I did. Corey had Bodyguard on Von Schill and Breakthrough. I had Bodyguard on Nicodem and Stake Claim. So Corey on turn 1 flew Von Schill right up onto the evidence marker, which was pretty bold. I'm not sure I agreed with the plan, but that's the way it worked out. Otherwise, everything just kind of moved up the board. You can see the Trapper took a shot at my Dead Rider and then kind of rolled down the hill to guard my evidence marker. Free Corpsman moved up, Taylor and the Librarian moved up, and just the rest of his crew moved up. What I ended up doing, I was able to activate him pretty easily just using the dogs. I also had Mortimer use Fresh Meat and Exhume, so he's kind of stuck far back in the field. So I was able to get a corpse counter for Nicodem, which was nice, and I was able to pull my crew up, and here you can see the Punk Zombie and the Rotten Bell moved up to the little towery thing that we'd set in the center there. And from the first picture, you can see I had Nicodem pulled up with the Dead Rider. The Dead Rider used its mounted combat and Dragonlong to pull Nicodem up, and Nicodem was able to get off Rigor Mortis on Von Schill, so Von Schill is paralyzed on turn 1. Not so good for him. Turn 2, I think I won initiative again, I'm not sure, but the Dead Rider moved up and decided to mounted combat to pull the Convict Gunslinger back to my line so I could slaughter it and take advantage of its corpse counters. Well, as it worked out, that was not really the case. I ended up getting lucky and hitting the Red Joker on, I think I had a negative damage flip, because I think I tied to hit him. So I just killed the Gunslinger outright, which was awkward, but not the end of the world, because Nicodem's a rise action and effectively makes any corpse counter that's within 10 inches of you useful as opposed to just the 6. A couple of my dogs died through shooting and close combat attacks, which was fine with me because I had Nicodem activate and summon a Rogue Necromancy, which you can see was saying hello to Von Schill. Corey had Taylor charge the Rogue Necromancy, and I think he might have hit. No, he missed. He didn't do any damage, which was nice for me. But it did mean that if he won initiative next turn, the Necromancy was just going to die. So, not so good for me. I double-walked my Punk Zombie up next to the Free Corps Trapper, and used my Rotten Bell to lure the Free Corpsman over to the Punk Zombie, because I figured the Punk Zombie could survive the attacks of either one of the 2 of them, and then kill off one of them in return, and then hopefully kill the other one next turn. Librarian, again, didn't do much, and here you can see the Specialist was surrounded by a couple dogs. I planted one of my dogs on the evidence marker with the hopes that I could kill off the Specialist and then activate the evidence marker, forgetting that when the Specialist dies, it creates a pulse which does 3 damage, which would kill off the dogs, and subsequently leave me unable to activate the evidence marker. So, great play on my part. I was certainly a solid player this game. Not really. You can see the Dead Rider was pulled back into position after he attacked the Convict Gunslinger, and the Nicodem was kind of... He got pushed away by Taylor. She charged Nicodem, I'm sorry. She charged Nicodem last turn and pushed him off the cliff, which was fine with me. I didn't really care if he was up there or not. I was able to see everything I wanted to see anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. I won initiative turn 3 and activated Nicodem first. I bolstered, which made all my guys awesome, and was able to paralyze Taylor, which meant that I wasn't going to just lose my Rogue Necromancy, which was nice. Schill was able to fly away after being able to activate again finally, and he didn't shoot at the Rogue Necromancy because the Rogue Necromancy would possibly bounce the attacks off. It was engaged with something as well as Taylor, so he didn't really have any clean shots there. My Punk Zombie activated and flurried down the Specialist after surviving a flurry from the Freecorpsman. I had the the Dead Rider move around a bit. I think I tried to pull Taylor away from the Rogue Necromancy, but he missed, and then just got an attack off on Schill. So Schill spent the majority of this game at like 2 or 3 wounds. It was pretty rough for him. And Nicodem, I think, didn't do much else. He moved around. I remember having 1 action point left and just agonizing over what to do with it, but ended up not really doing much. The Specialist disengaged from my dogs miraculously even with the bolster up, and took a shot and killed off one of them, but wasn't able to kill the other one because he only hit moderate damage, and the blast only does 2 damage, so worked out pretty well for me. And you can see here that Corey took one of his Freecorpsmen and just bolted him up the board, getting him in position to either climb up into that tower to take out the evidence marker he placed up there, or to take out his one in my deployment zone, which is smart because a lot of players, when they play Destroy the Evidence, forget about that evidence marker and that it's worth 2 points in shared Destroy the Evidence. So keep that in mind, folks. It's a good idea. Nicodem summoned a bunch of mindless zombies at the end of turn 4, trying to take out Taylor. Here you can see the Dead Rider is no longer on the board. The Dead Rider pulled Taylor away finally, but wasn't able to finish her off. I hit the red Joker on my first damage flip, but since she has hard to kill, she stayed alive at 1 wound, and then I missed with my fast action attack, and she was able to swing back with a couple attacks and kill him. So not so good for me, but I summoned a bunch of mindless zombies. One of them actually hit, and then hit the black Joker for damage and didn't kill her. So Taylor lived to survive another day. The Librarian failed a morale duel from the Rogue Necromancy, ran away, or actually no, he failed from the Dead Rider, ran away. I didn't disengage with either of them because I didn't want it near me, and then Mortimer went to deal with it, which was pretty cool for me. Here you can see the Freecorpsman moving towards the evidence marker. Turn 5, the game kind of took a turn for the worse for Corey, model-wise anyway. He lost a lot of stuff. His Freecorpsman died, I think, to a slow-to-die action from my Punk Zombie, which I think I summoned, resummoned him afterwards because he died, to an attack. Taylor killed off the Dead Rider, as I mentioned, but that meant that she was sitting next to the Free Corps Specialist, who was killed off by the newly summoned Punk Zombie, which then killed off Taylor. Schill went off to try and deal with Mortimer and to, I guess, take care of some evidence markers, but he just didn't have enough movement to get there. And turn 6 was just clean up. I was able to finally activate my evidence marker in his deployment zone by summoning a Canine Remains and then having the other one activate it. I didn't get my second normal evidence marker, but I did get the neutral. So we ended up finishing the game on turn 6. We ended up not going into turn 7. Corey was able to get 2 points for his breakthrough because he had a model in my deployment zone, which was the Freecorpsman taking out the evidence marker. He got 2 points for Bodyguard and then 2 points for the Destroy Evidence because he got his big evidence marker. And while I was missing one of my evidence markers, I was able to get the neutral one in addition to the one in his deployment zone, getting me 3 points for Destroy the Evidence. I got 2 points for my Bodyguard and then 2 points for the Stake of Claim because I was able to get a model onto the terrain marker. So game ended up 7-6 in favor of Nicodem. It was a really great game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.